Well, I am Dr. Brian LaPointe. I'm a scientist with Florida Atlantic University Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute. And we're here today at our field station on Big Pine Key, where we just did some algae collections out at a patch reef near Little Palm Island. So we are now sorting the algae and identifying them using the Littler and Littler 2000 book, Reef Plants of the Caribbean. So while we sort, I thought I would do some reading to the students here today. Another wonderful book, At Home in the Coral Reef, by another friend of mine, Katie Muzik. And Katie's just a wonderful coral reef scientist. She studied soft corals, gorgonians, and one of the world experts on that subject. But she produced this wonderful book, and I'm going to read it now. And look at the illustrations. Now look how green that water is. That is so typical of the Florida Keys because, as we all know, this is a heavily impacted system. We have so much nitrogen coming into our waters, some of it locally, but most of it from the mainland, the runoff coming out of the Everglades. All the way up to Orlando, it drains down. We're at the end of the line down here. Down, down, down in the tropical clear blue sea lives a beautiful coral reef. Now this is, of course, what our reefs used to be like when they had a lot of living coral. The coral reef is a wonderful home for hundreds of kinds of fish and thousands of other kinds of creatures. The reef itself is made of zillions of tiny animals called coral polyps. Each tiny coral polyp catches food with its little arms called tentacles. The polyps share their food and live so close together that their skeletons are connected. Some kinds of coral polyps make soft skeletons that sway gently back and forth in the water. These polyps have 8 tentacles. Other coral polyps make skeletons that are as hard as rock. They're hard skeletons from the coral reef. A hard coral polyp has 12 or 24 or 48 or more tentacles. Together, over 50 kinds of hard coral from this reef in the Caribbean Sea. So we have about 50 species of corals in the Caribbean. You can see some of the hard coral, the brain coral, and some of the soft corals. You see the branching coral over here. The Pacific has hundreds of species, over 400 species of hard corals in Fiji. So their biodiversity is much, much greater than ours. What are these pink things? Coral eggs. Once a year, coral polyps have babies. Eggs and sperm pop out of the polyps and float up and up and up to the top of the blue sea. There, each fertilized egg becomes a baby coral called a planula. Now it is ready to search for a new home. The planula is completely covered with little hairs. It swims by waving them through the water, but it cannot swim very fast. Watch out, little planula. Watch out for those hungry wrasses. Whoosh! Just in time, a big wave carries the planula away to the crest or the top of the coral reef. Here the water is very shallow. Because it is so shallow, the waves break and crash into the reef. Splash, crash, the breaking waves make the water very rough. It's so rough that only a few animals can live here. A fireworm holds on tight. A school of blue tangs darts in and out, hunting for food. Crash, splash, will this be home for the planula? No, it's too rough. The planula is swept along, riding a wave over the crest. Here you can see the reef crest with that high energy zone with crashing waves. So The coral planula goes into the lagoon over the reef crest. The water in the lagoon is calm. Although the lagoon seems peaceful, it is really a busy place from top to bottom. At the top, a pelican gulps a pouch full of fish. At the bottom, a stingray slurps up shrimp. Many animals looking for food in the lagoon are hard to see. An emerald clingfish hides in a blade of turtle grass. Clams and crabs hide in the sand. Such a busy place. Day and night in the lagoon. Nighttime has now fallen. Flash, glow, blink. What could these lights be? They twinkle like stars in the sky, but they are all underwater. These lights are made by animals. Animals almost too small to see are twinkling. Brittle stars flash to scare away lobsters and crabs. Worms glow to show other worms where they are. Flashlight fish attract their food by blinking. Can the planula live here? No, it's too sandy. The planula needs a rocky place or hard bottom. It floats along to the red mangrove trees near the shore of the lagoon. Red mangroves can grow in salty water. Their roots grow out and hang down right into the ocean. Sponges and seaweeds grow on the roots. Millions of baby fish and baby shrimp start life in the water around the mangrove roots. There's lots of food for them there. Will this be a home for the planula too? No. The water here is too shady for the planula. It turns away and swims along to the shallow water near the beach of the lagoon. The sunshine heats the sandy beach. The sand was made by ocean waves. Over thousands of years, the waves have pounded the skeletons of reef animals and plants into smaller and smaller bits. Eventually, the bits formed so many grains of sand that they covered the bottom of the lagoon and washed up on shore to make a beach. Will this be home for the planula? No. It's too shallow and too hot here. The planula catches a current, deeper water. Oh no. Here, the water is dirty. The water is so dirty, the coral is dying. This is exactly what we saw today. The dirt smothers the coral polyps and blocks the sunlight they need. Chemicals wash down the rivers from factories and farms and cities, poison the coral. In the dirty water, harmful bacteria and algae grow over the coral and kill it. Careless divers hurt the coral too. They step on it and break it with their boat anchors. Without living coral, the fish and other animals will eventually leave. The planula cannot live here either. Luckily, the current carries it out of the lagoon over the top of the reef and down. This is a picture of the dirty water and the poisoned reef. What do you see? Algae. This is Lingbia, a blue-green algae that has bloomed on the reefs around the Florida Keys. Look over here. Black band disease killing the coral. All caused by dirty water, too many pollutants in the water. On the other side of the reef, deeper and deeper and deeper, the planula goes to a healthy part of the reef where the water is clean. At last, a safe spot for the planula to settle down. The spot is hard and rocky. It's sunny but not too hot. Gentle currents bring more clean water and plenty of food. It will be the perfect home. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.